Good evening, all Dharma Masters and all Lotus Friends. Namo Amituofo. Tonight we will listen to a Dharma Sharing by Master Jingzong, which will help us immensely in enjoying our daily lives. If, like most people, you suffer at the cost of those who seem inconsiderate and who have maybe caused you to be slighted, this will be advice to lift you out of that bondage. This is titled, Unlocking the Gate to Your Happiness. It's that person. He's the reason I'm so miserable. Sound familiar? We say things like that all the time. But let me ask you, is that really true? We often find ourselves pinning our pain on someone else. What he said upset me, or what she did ruined my day. When we point fingers at others, the problem seems simple. It feels like we've found the answer. Well, it's obviously his fault. How could I possibly be the one in the wrong? But admitting that we might be the one causing our own suffering, that's a bitter pill to swallow. The best way to overcome this is to cultivate the right view. The first aspect of the right view is realizing that we are solely responsible for everything that happens to us. All our suffering and happiness are ours alone. No one can experience it on our behalf. Our suffering is, in essence, the suffering of our own mind. So who is capable of causing our mind to suffer? It can only be ourselves. When you claim that others' words hurt you, they can only do so with your consent. You may hear the words, but they only have power over you if you let them in. If you refuse to give that consent, if you simply tune them out, they cannot touch you. It's that simple. To code a happy life and the agency over your destiny must remain firmly in your own hands. This code is karma, the law of cause and effect. It is a fundamental Buddhist knowledge. All phenomena are manifestations of the mind, and everything we experience is of our own making. Just as honest advice is harsh to the ear, and good medicine is bitter to the taste, we must accept that because everything is our own making, we cannot shirk responsibility. We must be the one to solve our own problems. Complaining is the easy way out. You just blame someone else for your problems. But by doing that, you're giving away the key to your own joy. You think you've handed it over to them, but they don't even want it. They're busy living their own lives and don't care about yours. I would like to briefly stop here to emphasize how important it is for us to understand that we are throwing away our own peace and happiness when we calculate ways that others seem to have disrespected us or caused us disadvantage. I personally think it is very challenging to just try to turn this around by our own determination. Rather, we can turn over the problem and let the resolution or outcome fall into place naturally by handing it over as baggage for Amitabha Buddha to check for us. He wants to help us, and we will surely find joy in using that now unwasted energy on taking refuge in his name. Master Jingzong goes on in this sharing to finish making the point by asking, so where did the key go? it's been discarded, lost in the middle of nowhere. By throwing away the key to your own happiness, you've trapped yourself in a gloomy room with no way out. Imagine the toll that takes on you. So, the key to unlocking the gate to your happiness is realizing that you alone must own your experience. Now that we have heard this teaching, it should be considered as a viable option to maintain our happiness. Just remember that no matter how strong these emotions are, especially when someone is very abusive or mean, we can find strength and hope knowing that Amitabha Buddha's name does not require us to have perfect reactions or no human feelings. Master Jingzong is also quoted saying, "Since the name encompasses all the merits of Buddhas, it cannot be blemished by our deluded and dirty minds. The name is pure and meritorious. Like the lotus flower, it grows through the mud without being sullied. No matter how delusive or fatuous our minds may be, reciting the name is unvarnished Nyanfo. The counsel which says, regardless of one's state of mind, have faith in the Buddha's deliverance and constantly recite his name, fulfills the Buddha's primal vow for rebirth. Therefore, it is called unvarnished Nyanfo." So, I hope that with this in mind, we will patiently learn to redirect our efforts to dedicate ourselves in accepting the law of cause and effect, doing our part to take responsibility for what may happen, and thus knowing that we do not have to bear it all alone. This will lead us to a much happier practice of accepting our ordinary circumstances and practicing in an unembellished way. That will be all for tonight's learning. Thank you for your kind attention. Namo Amituofo.